Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. My pillow, you just look at it, you pass out. It's a fucking magic pillow. Invented by a guy who was on crack. Pretty ironic. We never sleep. Anyways, guys, just want to say that this is the show right now. People are starving for it, obviously. The thing's growing like we hoped it would. And you know why that is? Nowhere else can you hear the truth. I deliver the news. That stuff's right out of the papers, right off the websites. But we make it funny and entertaining. We know you guys are locked in your house and you need some relief. And people, Trump's approval ratings are up, even during this pandemic. So things are looking up, and I really can't thank you guys enough. As you know, we've gone free a couple weeks ago, Monday through Thursday. So we need you to contribute as much as you can at nickdip.com. You can make a single one-time contribution. And if you want to do more, you can sign up at patreon.com. And that's a monthly subscription, and you'll get an extra story every day that nobody else gets. You will get access to over 300 shows in our archives, and you'll get to ask me a question, which we'll include on the show. Also, if you are a business owner, I know things are tough right now, but when they start to clear up, if you want to be a sponsor on the show, we've taken a couple on since this pandemic hit. So it's a great way to get your message out as far as your product to people who think like you, that are for free speech and for the American way. We all want to get back to work. I can't wait to get on stage again. I'm climbing the walls, but you guys make this possible. So we thank you for that. That's about it. So what I want you to do right now is to enjoy the show. So, enjoy. Oh, yeah, it's that time again, folks. You believe it's Monday again? May the 4th, I think it is? Jesus H. Christ, I'll be dead in 8 to 10 minutes. It's scary, man. I'll tell you, Europe had it right with those 4-day work weeks. Oh, don't worry, I do some heavy gardening on the weekend. I'm not sitting around. Literally, I'm sitting on the steps, smoking this thing. My wife's fucking like grouting the driveway. I'm going, got any more of that fucking Snapple? I am useless. Other than this, useless. I just said useless. How are you, folks? Are you corona-free? Are you social distancing? If you are, you big puss, okay? It's a bad cold is what it is. Get out there, unless you're 70 and live on Snickers and fucking pork rinds. You'll be all right. Anyways, I might speak Italian during the show because I'm watching this Gomorrah about a Naples crime family in Italy, and my God, they make black people look like Amish people when it comes to crime. Fucking proud of my people. Remember, I'm more Irish and English, believe it or not. Anyways, what else did I do real quick over the weekend? I don't know. Fucking worked out a couple times. Dave Rubin will be on next Monday's show. He has a book out. Wait a minute, how are we going to do that? Oh, yeah. First of all, I won't be here next week, okay? We're taking, Thursday will be my last show. I'll come back the following 8 days, which is a Friday. We'll do one show and then come back as normal. So, but we'll play the best of, we'll play reruns and stuff. Please, again, keep the contributions coming, even if I'm not here, but I need a break. I'm getting a little toasty. All right? Let's start the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. DiPaolo, no one could be as nasty as you pretend to be unless they really wanted to be disliked.
Yeah?
Man, fuck you and your bone spurs.
That's what I say. In our libs, eating libs segment today, The chairman of the DNC shrugged off any need to investigate sexual assault allegations against Joey Biden, noting he went through a vetting process when he became vice president and saying, I trust Joe Biden. Can you imagine what this guy had the fucking nerve to say that?
You smug cocksucker. Fuck you.
That's Tom Perez, by the way. He's the head of the DNC. He's the guy that started cursing openly a couple of years ago, real hothead. But yeah, he's saying that, Biden went through some heavy vetting when he became vice president. So that's enough already. I'm sure Trump did too, but that wasn't your attitude when the grabbing pussy tape came out, was it, Tommy? You motherless fuck you. Anyways, here's Tom Perez on a Sunday show.
There's been so many investigations of the vice president. The most comprehensive investigation of the vice president was when he was vetted by Barack Obama in 2008. I'm very familiar with vice presidential vetting process. They look at everything about you. They looked at the entire history of Joe Biden, his entire career. And I'll tell you, if Barack Obama had any indication that there was an issue, Barack Obama would not have had him as his vice president.
Oh, God.
You're fucking crazy.
Yeah, he wouldn't. Dick Cheney, huh? I wonder, Dick Cheney, I bet you he was vetted, huh? And you guys made him out to be Darth Vader, the most evil man on the planet. Sure, he went through that heavy vetting process. Oh, you dirty rod. Perez compared the accusations against Biden, the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee, who I'm telling you, he's not going to be it, he compared it to the email controversy that Hillary Clinton went through in 2016. He said, this is like the Hillary emails because there was nothing there, he said. What the fuck are you talking about? There was nothing there.
You're fucking crazy.
Biden, by the way, in an interview on MSNBC's Morning Joe, thus the Libs Eating Libs segment, last Friday said Tara Reade's claims that he assaulted her in 1993 while she was working in his office are untrue. Oh, did he? He says it never happened. Check it out.
1993, Mr. Vice President, that you pinned her against the wall and reached under her clothing and penetrated her with your fingers. Would you please go on the record with the American people? Did you sexually assault Tara Reade?
No, it is not true. I'm saying unequivocally, it never happened. And it didn't. It never happened.
You're lying. And you're a piece of shit.
No, when anybody says it's not true, they should leave it there. But when they're lying, they go, it never happened. It didn't happen. It never happened. Here, smell my fingers, Mika. I haven't washed my hands since 82. Even during the virus thing. Fucking look at her. She's looked like she's getting finger popped right now by fucking Joe Scarborough under the desk. That's what I do. I pause the Fox News girls at home and I go, look at, that's her sleeping before I sneak into the bedroom. What a liar. They're all liars. I have mixed feelings about this because they all have done something nasty and dirty. You know what I mean? I'm surprised there ain't 6 million women coming out about all senators on both sides. Guys are just pussy hounds, and the more power they have. Do you think she just made that up out of the blue, folks? Really? Tara Reade just came forward because she wants the national spotlight shined on her and get death threats and all this shit? Huh? You really think she made it up? Let's be honest. The next thought is, okay, even if he did do it, does that disqualify him? I don't know. Bill Clinton, alleged rapist, for the love of Christ. Pictures of him flying Jeffrey Epstein's plane into Snatch Island, remember? That's where I'm going, by the way. Sandals and then Snatch Island with the wife. Anyways, Tara Reade told the AP that the complaint she filed to the Congressional Personnel Office 27 years ago did not include explicit accusations of sexual assault because she didn't want to end her career when she was in her 20s or whatever. That's understandable. But do you really think she's making this out of whole cloth? Come on. Get this, ladies and gentlemen. Another woman has come forward with allegations about Biden's inappropriate behavior, claiming that he commented on her age and her sweet little titties. Cut. What? It's the internet. commented on her age and her breasts when she was 14. And we've all seen Biden around 14-year-olds at these things in the last couple of years, sniffing heads and rubbing backs and licking girls' ears. Speaking to Law and Crime, Eva Murray, 26. That's her. I gotta be honest, I like her on the left better. It's a joke, everybody. But that's a little too sexy for a 14-year-old. By the way, that looks like my dog. I swear to God. There she is holding the dog. And she says Biden sniffed her dog's ass a couple weeks ago, but nobody... Come on. Anyways, Eva Murray, 26. Eva Murray claimed she was sexually harassed by Biden at First State Gridiron Dinner and Show in 2008, a swanky political roast for Delaware press and politicians. It's similar to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Murray is the niece of former Republican Senate candidate Christine O'Donnell, who was running for Senate against Biden at the time and had occasionally went to political events for school credit. She was in middle school at the time. How creepy is that, Uncle Joe? How you doing? How old are you? Nice tits. Whack, whack, whack. At the dinner, Murray says that when she met Biden, he asked her age, then, surprised by her youth, commented about how she was very well endowed for a 14-year-old.
That boy is a P.I.G. pig.
What kind of comment is that? Sounds like something Raz would say when he's drunk. She says, I remember walking into the lobby and being in awe of all the people in such fancy clothes, Murray told Law and Crime. Our two parties of people gravitated towards each other and everyone started saying their hellos. When it was Biden and my aunt's turn to say hello, he quickly turned to me and asked how old I was. I replied with my age and he replied with the comment, 14? You're very well endowed for 14. What the fuck? Then he said this.
Delicious.
Thank you.
Oh, my God. I was confused, but it was definitely weird. He looked me up and down and hovered his eyes on my chest, so I had some clue about the notion of his comment, but didn't fully understand at the time. We quickly separated from his area after the encounter. Murray has 6 people to corroborate her claims. One friend and her sister said that Murray told her details of the alleged incident more or less immediately after it happened. 4 other friends of Murray's said they were told about the incident with the same details between 2 and 3 years after it originally occurred. Multiple friends who Murray told about the event spoke to the outlet on record. Judge Judy would say, that's hearsay. It doesn't matter. That's hearsay. She was telling me about the event and explained what happened. Victoria Anstey, a friend of Murray, said, I remember being so shocked I didn't know who Biden was or anything. Just that she said he was an older man was enough for me to not like the situation. Eva is telling the truth, she added. She told me he looked at her chest and she was well endowed. She looked very uncomfortable. I asked how old he was. She said like an older man. I said like old like a teacher or elderly? And she said old like a teacher. I remember myself getting mad. I remember myself getting mad because I had pretty nice jugs myself and he never said anything. Anstey said that she's a Democrat. She can't stand Trump and that it isn't about politics. It's about men in power abusing their positions, which is it's pretty true, you know?
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
Another friend, Caitlin Weaver, said that Murray told her about the incident over 10 years ago. Eileen Callaghan, another friend, said Murray told her when they were teenagers. It was probably 2010 when she told me, she told Law and Crime. She mentioned that he was at an event, she was with her aunt, and that he was a creep and was looking at her chest the whole time. Eva Murray's older sister, Jenna Murray, said she was told about the alleged incident within a week or so of the dinner. Following the incident, Murray says that she would sometimes have to see him at campaign events and would feel sick to her stomach knowing he would be there. She said that she encountered him about 3 times after that at similar events and that his eyes never were on my face. Ay, ay, ay. 14, for the love of Pete. Murray has 2 children now, is currently engaged. No man or woman should get away with acting that way, and that is what this boils down to, she said. Now, here's an important note to the story. An email from Biden 2020 Rapid Response Director Andrew Bates contained 2 news articles which strongly suggest Biden would not have been able to attend the event in question, as well as a copy of then Senator Biden's schedule, which also supports the claim that he did not attend the dinner. Finally, the Biden campaign also provided a letter from a man who identified himself as the former vice president of the Gridiron Dinner, which categorically denied Biden's attendance that year. Okay, so she got the year wrong, is what I'm saying. Girls don't just come out and make this shit up. You know, unless you're Christine Blasey Ford and you're a hard lefty and Donald Trump or Kavanaugh is up for a Supreme Court seat. But no young girl. This girl's only 26 now. They don't want to be their privacy invaded and shit, but what's fair is fair. Her friends hate fucking Trump, and they're even saying it's true. So, Joe, I don't know what to tell you, Joe. That makes what you're being accused of now even more credible, in my opinion. I'm just connecting the dots. I report, you motherless fucks decide. Wasn't that a slogan by somebody? Oh, now let's get to what's going on in today's world, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what that is. Coronavirus from China. That's the way Trump said it. Remember, the reporter said, why do you keep calling it the China? Because it's from China. It's from China. Don't you understand? You call Chinese food because it's from China. By the way, I had 12 egg rolls last night in about 4 minutes. Delicious. Delicious. China hid coronavirus severity to hoard supplies. Sounds just like the Chinese to me. They're very slippery, ladies and gentlemen. As slippery as the eels they fry for breakfast. U.S. officials believe China covered up the extent of the coronavirus outbreak and how contagious the disease is to stock up on medical supplies needed to respond to it, intelligence documents show. Chinese leaders intentionally conceal the severity, that's in quotes, of the pandemic from the world early in January, according to a 4-page Department of Homeland Security report dated May 1st and obtained by the AP. The revelation comes as the Trump administration has intensified its criticism of China, with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo saying Sunday that China was responsible for the spread of the disease. It must be held accountable. Here's Mike Pompeo.
We've said from the beginning that this was a virus that originated in Wuhan, China. We took a lot of grief for that from the outset, but I think the whole world can see now. Remember, China has a history of infecting the world, and they have a history of running substandard laboratories. These are not the first times that we've had a world exposed to viruses as a result of failures in a Chinese lab. And so while the intelligence community continues to do its work, they should continue to do that and verify so that we are certain. I can tell you that there is a significant amount of evidence that this came from that laboratory in Wuhan.
Okay, he wouldn't lie.
I kill you right now.
Kill me. I'm right here. Kill me.
Okay, I come with 2 chopsticks. I shove up your ass.
2 chopsticks. Come over here. Talk to me in the face.
Like somebody.
Like a somebody. Like a somebody. I love my show. The analysis states that while downplaying the severity of the coronavirus, China increased imports and decreased exports of medical supplies. That's evidence enough for me. Sorry to be a fucking American. It attempted to cover up doing so by denying there were export restrictions and obfuscating and delaying provision of its trade data, the analysis said.
Then let me look around so I can ease the UN's collective mind.
You're breaking my balls here, You're breaking my balls.
The report also says China held off informing the World Health Organization that the coronavirus was a contagion for much of January so it could order medical supplies from abroad, and that its imports of face masks and surgical gowns and gloves increased sharply.
You want inspection? We'll inspect that, you butt-fucking piece of shit!
Wow, tensions are ratcheting up. Those conclusions are based on the 95% probability that China's changes in imports and export behavior were not within the normal range, according to the report. Enough evidence for me. They started importing all kinds of shit. So, I'm sorry, they're very dirty. They're very dirty, and I think they're very... the rest of the world's a little pissed, too. It's not just Trump, but you people are going, he's such a racist. If you don't believe in quarantining and social distancing, you're just a fucking racist, and this is the world's problem. In China, we're not all in it together. If I hear that one more time in a commercial, Jesus Christ, we're all in it together. Really? How come you're telling me to stay 70 meters away from the person at the fucking Ace Hardware store? I had to pick up a claw hammer. The guy threw it to me. It's stuck on my neck. Don't get me this we're in together. Fucking horse shit. What did I cook this weekend? Ironically, stir fry. Twice. I miss sports, don't you folks? Please watch Gomorrah. Do you want to see some animal Italian people that live in ghettos in Naples? Please watch Gomorrah. Oh my God. Violence, beautiful Italian women, all kinds of dirtiness, drugs. Everything that America's about, only in Chinese and Italian. Fucking, it is so good. I used to sit home, people talking about all these shows on Netflix, and I would be out doing comedy. I would never catch this shit, but now I see why. Go ahead, Raz.
I have a Patreon question for you if you want to answer.
Already? Boy, can you pick
sure.
a time during the show? You can be consistent with it. It's either 5 minutes before the show ends or 10 minutes into it. Yeah, sure. We have a Patreon. Again, folks, I want to thank you. People contributing to the show at nickdip.com. And people, we had 10 or 11 people sign up on Patreon this weekend. That's what keeps us going. I can't thank my fans enough. Michael K., Kansas City, Missouri. If the revolting, degenerate pieces of filth, Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi, got into a fight to the death with Louisville sluggers, who would win? Thanks for all your great content. Take care of her. With Louisville sluggers, they'd probably just do each other with Louisville. They wouldn't even hit each other. You know what I'm saying? They don't like the real thing. They go with the meat substitute. Nice 36 ounce. Barry Bonds model. Nice black, shiny. Hillary would kill her. Hillary's just a fucking mean bitch. Get a few drinks in her. She got the Irish Chicago comes out. She would beat her like a fucking rented mule. You know what I'd do? I'd masturbate to it if they videotaped it. Hopefully they'd both die. By the way, that's what they... In Gomorrah, you want to see people hit each other with bats? There's a little of that, too. Old school. That's a good question, Mike. I appreciate that. Two old ladies who hate the country, just savaging each other. But yeah, I'd take Hillary. First of all, balance. She's got those cankles. You know what I mean? She'd be like a good fighter. You have her unconscious on the ropes. But she doesn't go down because she's got feet like a dinosaur, fucking thick ankles, head like a Coke machine, face like a fucking crocodile. Pelosi could, block some with her big titties. Anyways, great question. Great answer by me. This is a serious show. What do we got here? What do we have here, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, the judge is coming.
Hear ye! Hear ye! The court's in session. The court's in session. Now, here come the judge. Here come the judge.
Oh, Flip Wilson loved him. I'm fucking 8 years old. I was fucking watching comedy like a... the Justice Department is siding with a Virginia church, suing Governor Ralph Blackface Clanrobe Northam after police threatened a pastor with jail time or a $2,500 fine for violating the state's coronavirus lockdown restrictions by holding a 16-person church service on Palm Sunday. I love it. The Justice Department is siding with the church. You don't see that often. As you know, this country has grown more secular and really hates all religions, except Muslim ones. But, they probably hate them too, but don't have the balls to say it. The Department of Justice decision came after police in protective garb served a summons to Kevin Wilson, one of my favorite pastors in the country, Kev Wilson, the pastor of the Lighthouse Fellowship Church on Chincoteague Island. Holy shit, it really does says Chincoteague. I can't make this shit up during Corona times. For holding the service on April 5th with 16 people spaced far apart from one another. And get this, in a church that could hold 293 people. 16 people. They could be 12 feet apart. That's a comedy club, 293 people. 16, and they're busting their balls about this. State officials said Wilson, by the way, Virginia is as blue can be. It's really turned into a police state. State officials said Wilson and the church violated the Virginia Constitution by breaking state-imposed social distancing restrictions intended to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Oh, yeah? I'll tell you what they didn't break. The First Amendment, right to assemble, which trumps your shitty little Constitution. Maybe it doesn't, but I'm just saying that. I'm no lawyer. Although I worked for Salino and Barnes for a couple of years. The Commonwealth of Virginia has offered no good reason, this is the judge speaking, for refusing to trust congregants who promise to use care and worship in the same way it trusts accountants, lawyers, and other workers to do the same. It's a great point, isn't it? That's because they're hostile towards religion. I'm not even a religious person, folks. I'm just saying. Matt Staver, the chairman and founder of Liberty Counsel, representing the pastor, accused Northam, the blackface ass, a Democrat, of discriminating against the church and violating what I just said, the First Amendment. And this is what he said about Northam.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell, Karis, you freak.
I thought that went over the line a little.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell, get him.
Across the country, law enforcement has been cracking down on religious congregations, threatening heavy summons and fines for deliberately breaking state rules. Yeah, crack down on that, but leave the liquor stores open. Release thousands of prisoners because they might get sick of coronavirus. Shut the gun shops, but let's pick on the goddamn churchgoers. Again, I'm not religious, but I like religious people because they believe in a bigger thing. They believe, they fear God, which is good. It makes them behave. I don't fear any man. It's a joke. I'm shitting my pants right now. Churches have been urged, Raz, to switch to virtual services in lieu of in-person sermons, but Wilson's church claimed that the Lighthouse Fellowship didn't have the capacity to do that. He said, none of the motherfuckers in my parish are fucking tech-savvy. Oh, he did. Many parishioners didn't have access to the internet. That's kind of weird. But that's what he say.
Counselor!
Attorney General Bill Barr said in an interview last month that the DOJ, in some cases, would side with citizens and businesses suing states over coronavirus lockdown orders. I love it. They hate Bill Barr. They think he's just a mouthpiece for Trump and shit. I think he believes in law and order, and he doesn't, he follows the rules as they're written, but I know you guys are. And plus, he looks a lot like Elton John. Nobody else has made that observation but me. Someone saved my life tonight. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. Though Raz is not one who can easily hide. He's about 5'10", 245. And if I did, I'd buy a big church where we could hide from COVID.
I got another question.
Oh shit, Raz! I love it.
Not a Patreon one, but one for you.
Oh,
have you always not been religious, or is it just something that kind of happened?
That's a great question. Again, here's the thing about religion, and if I have a nice chunk on Breath of Fresh Air, my last special, which is kicking ass still on YouTube. I talk about religion, and you don't get to choose your religion. They slap it on you when you're a kid. I do a bit about, they brought me to some priests. When I'm like 10 months old, they splashed some water on my face, and then I said, I'm hoping that was water. Felt like hair gel. But, so, no, I was raised, my mother still goes to church every Sunday. Her mother was really religious. And I'll tell you why, she was really religious. When she was like 10, 12 years old, my grandmother, my mother's mother, who's passed, and she developed like open sores on her neck. Some type of cancer. This is way back. She was born in the early 1900s. Anyways, her mother was very religious, took her all the way to Quebec to some church with some priestess. They gave her a prayer. This is all true. They gave a prayer to tell my grandmother to say every day. A day after they got home from that trip to Quebec, my grandmother started eating solid food for like the first time in like months. All this stuff. They actually told my grandmother's mother to bring her home and let her die. She was that sick. And so my grandmother, was very religious because her mother was very religious. I was, I went to catechism class. I went to church, made my first confession and all that shit. And it just didn't stick. I don't know what to believe. I'm agnostic, as they say. I'm not saying it. I'm saying I don't know. You know what I mean? But, I remember a guy coming up to me. I was hanging out in Washington Square Park before a set at the Comedy Cellar, and some guy came up to me and said, do you have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ? And I said, look, I got enough problems with my wife. The fuck do I need another relationship for? That's when I said, man. I stopped going to church in like 8th grade. My mother, I remember one Sunday, she tried to hit me with a wooden spoon. I put this up and it broke. And I said, I'm not going. Meanwhile, my father's laying in bed going, get to church or you'll go to hell. And I'm like, well, you're not going to hell? He said, I'm married, I'm in hell. Go to church. So I don't, you know what I mean? I really do. I admire religious people. I mean, look at Mike Lindell. My pillow guy. Anybody else find it amazing that a crackhead seriously invented the most comfortable pillow? He should have a crackhead on his commercials lay down on the pillow after doing 2 pounds of meth and go, look, he's out like a light. Anyways, to answer your question, Raz, yeah, I don't. Let me ask you a question. You're from the South, are you? North Carolina, right? Black, a lot of religious conservatives, right? So do you still go to church and all that?
I don't go to church. I got tired of old guy yelling at me, preaching, so I don't go to church, but I am religious. I'm Christian.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. You don't need the church. Cut out the middleman. I'm going right to the guy myself. Yeah. Do you pray?
Just like the Lord's Prayer every now and then.
Inshallah?
Yeah, inshallah.
This is Raz praying. God, I hope the Lakers cover tonight. Inshallah. I get 10 G's on it. I still remember this, though. They drill that into your head. Hail Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with. Same with the Italians, the Gomorrah. They're always, they're praying. Then they machine gun some kids down. I don't know what to believe. But I'm like everybody else. If somebody tells me I have cancer tomorrow, I'm sure I'll be a believer. I don't know. I might convert to Judaism. I need the help with the money. What? That's Annie Smith. No, it isn't. It's a joke. Colin Quinn on Tough Crowd. It's one of the opening segments. It said Judaism. The thing comes up. It says, he goes, something, religion or multinational corporation. Boy, that even shocked me. Speaking of shocking, ladies and gentlemen, what is the world coming to? We get COVID, right? Everybody admits this is the creepiest time to be alive. We thought 9/11 was going to be but this COVID thing is so creepy. It seems like the world's going nuts. Lady got eaten by an alligator, by the way, in South Carolina this weekend. And I don't mean sexually. What? Anyways, I don't know if you guys saw this video. Shocking moment, monkey on bicycle. I'll repeat, monkey on bicycle grabs a toddler and drags her away. This is in Indonesia. Let's take a look at the videotape. Here he comes on his bike. Look at this. What the?
Hey, mask. Hey.
Look at the little girl. She got right up. Let's take another look. You owe me $20, bitch. I told you not to work that street corner.
Hey, mask. Hey.
What the hell's going on out here?
What the fuck? That poor little girl. Joe Biden was seen on a bike A monkey has been filmed speeding along on a bicycle before he grabbed the young girl's dress, pulled her along an alley. Witnesses screamed when they saw the monkey trying to kidnap the... he's going to hold her hostage. The video, thought to have been filmed in Tanjung village, Indonesia. It's on a bike. I don't know what's more amazing. As it reached a bench where a woman and her 3 young daughters were sitting, the monkey grabbed at one of the girl's dresses and pulled her off the goddamn bench.
I told you a long time ago, you fucking little monkey, not to fuck me.
What kind of world what is going on? Seriously. Got this monkey. I'm going to do a story in a few minutes. Look at that. What's more incredible? The riding of the bike or the... That poor girl will never go to the zoo again. Where's her mother, by the way? Sitting on the bench going... Anyways. It's like... That's like something out of The Wizard of Oz. Fucking... I'll do a story in a few minutes. China has a hornet that they say it's already in Washington State. It's like a killer hornet. It's 2 inches long. It's the biggest hornet in the world. I'll get to it in a few seconds. They say it'll make its way to the East Coast in 2 or 3 years. Unless, like the guy who wrote the article said, unless somebody, has some in the back of its pickup truck, it could be here in a week. But it's a meat-eating hornet. The fuck? They probably created that in the lab over there, too. With a 1/4-inch stinger. It eats other bees. It robs honeybees' nests. Wears little bandanas. Fucking crazy. Oh, God. Here's my favorite governor right now. This broad is drunk on power. An angry pilot has taken to the skies over Michigan to chart a flight path spelling out F-U. I love these Michigan people.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Look that's the flight path. F-U with an arrow pointing towards the fucking mansion, the governor's mansion. It was directed at Governor Gretchen NitWitmer. Ed Frederick, 45, spent an hour crafting the message in his Piper propeller plane. Can you imagine how pissed this guy is? Friday morning, after Whitmer extended statewide stay-at-home orders through May 28th in a bid to slow the spread.
I know what you get.
Flight Tracker shared a screen grab of the flight path, which also featured an arrow pointing at the governor's mansion. In Michigan, there are... Look, I can understand a little bit. I do think she's drunk on power. And she's auditioning, by the way, to be whoever the Democrat nominee, whether it's Biden or not, maybe be on that ticket. That's what the theory is. In Michigan, there are at least 43,000 cases of coronavirus, and more than 4,000 have died. So she's saying, hey, we got to fucking, Frederick told the New York Post that he believes Whitmer is on a power trip and that it is not necessary for lockdown orders to continue across the entire state, which I sort of agree with the guy. Don't you? Sure you do.
You are correct, sir.
There are 82 counties in Michigan, but really only 4 need to be locked down, Frederick stated. He claimed that only areas surrounding Detroit, he's racist, should continue to remain on lockdown, given that is where a majority of the coronavirus cases are clustered, which is true. A lot of people put that theory out there. You quarantine the sick people, not the healthy one. And we've seen all the clips of the Michigan people showing up at the State House. That's the beauty of this country, folks. Right into the cab. They go right and march in. Some of them had, their guns and shit, which is very American. It's Michigan. I don't hear anybody beefing when fucking Black Lives Matter is chanting burn all cops and shit. Frederick theorizes that it would not play with Whitmer's Democratic base to only keep those areas on lockdown. In other words, if she locked down just the Detroit areas, her base would say she's being racist. Anyways, Whitmer says, this is for the safety of Michigan, but I think it's for the safety of her keeping her votes because the Southeast is highly Democratic, Frederick said. Frederick added that he owns a small business outside Grand Rapids and is disappointed that it will have to remain closed for another month. So, guys, you got to feel for people like this. His business is probably permanently ruined. On Thursday evening, Whitmer extended the stay-at-home order for another 4 weeks, despite armed protesters storming the state capitol building earlier in the day. Good for them.
Oh, fucking bitch.
The order bans gyms, theaters, bars, and casinos from opening and also limits restaurant to carry out and delivery orders. Restaurants can allow up to 5 people inside at a time to pick up orders, but only if they follow social distancing guidelines by staying 6 feet apart. That's the big debate. Is it overkill? I really think it is. This is a bad flu, folks. It kills the same people the regular flu does. Old, unhealthy people for the most part. Yes, there's been a few exceptions to that, but it's up to you as an American. If you're afraid, stay home. If you're not, do what I do. Go to World of Beer. Sit there with 4 other people in a place that holds 300 and go, Jesus Christ, my life's in shambles. Okay, in our Make Me a Sandwich segment today,
Make me a sandwich! Make me a fucking sandwich! No, 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 no!
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer slammed the stay-at-home order protesters who stormed the state's capitol on Thursday, saying they represented the worst racism and awful parts of U.S. history. Of course, that's her take. She's a lefty.
White power, 1, 2, 3, 4!
Catchy little tune. The Democratic governor said the group of armed demonstrators, which she said included people wielding Confederate flags and nooses, that is a little unnecessary. In addition to other racist signs, were not representative of who we are today. Well, if that's the case and it's not representative, it's only small, don't get all excited about it. That's a small group of people when you think about the fact that there's 10 million people in this state, the vast majority of whom are doing the right thing because Hitler said so. President Trump called on Whitmer in a tweet last week to negotiate with protesters. He said, this bitch ought to wake up and smell the coffee. No, he said the governor of Michigan should give a little and put out the fire. These are very good people. I don't think he was talking. I'm surprised the left-wing media, or maybe they did, maybe I missed it, didn't jump on the fact. Good people, they had nooses and Confederate flags. But they're angry, Trump said. They want their lives back again safely. See them, talk to them, make a deal. Everything's a deal with him. Monty fucking Hall. But Whitmer doubled down Sunday on her defense of the statewide stay-at-home order, saying she was working to protect your life. She's protecting your life, people. She knows better than you. She has extended the mandate last week to May 15th, but eased some restrictions, including on motorboating, golfing, and curbside pickups at businesses. So she's just drunk.
Ein Vorführung durch eigene Arbeit, durch eigenen Fleiß, eigenen Entschlossenheit.
Michigan reported a total of 43,254 confirmed coronavirus cases and 4,025 deaths statewide as of Sunday afternoon, according to Johns Hopkins University. So, again, it depends what you believe. You know, we all know it's very, very, very contagious. But as far as, fatality rates, it's very, the odds are on your side if you're healthy and under 107 years old. Anyways, I want to thank, as you know, folks, people can contribute to this show financially at nickdip.com. And they can also sign up at patreon.com and become a monthly supporter. And when you do that, you get extra story every day nobody else gets. You get to ask me questions, and you get access to all the previous shows. But I want to thank these people who have contributed since Thursday. Renee Allen, New York. Lon Jerks, Virginia. Alexander Hannon, Florida. Robert M. Bolin, Colorado. Trevor Sullivan, Kansas. Russell Reininger, Minnesota. Stephen Wilson, Texas. Robert Curley, New York. Rudy Lopes, New Jersey. Justin Lawrence, Missouri. Michelle Brewer, California. Ralph Lick My Hairy Sack Ledger, Florida. Jeffrey Fulgione, Fuligione, Massachusetts, Ed Midgley, Rhode Island, John Keisler, California, Mark Evanson, Minnesota, Dave Jensen, Washington, Samuel Strauss, Texas, Jeanette Mason, California, Samson Oppenheimer, New York, Ginny Sachs, fat ass, Pennsylvania, Derek Meeks, Georgia. How many's that, Raz? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22 people contributed to Nick Dip Dog. And get this, monthly supporters. This is at patreon.com. Peter Molnar, Doc Farmer, Roger Jabot, Kenny Frankus, Greeley, Kirk Gregory, Kell, Jazdeep Kalan, Alexander Brimley, AJV, who signed up at the veto level, which is the highest level. Thank you guys all so much for patreon.com and the individual contributions. We can't thank you enough. More corona news, ladies and gentlemen. Oklahoma City walked back an emergency declaration requiring customers to wear face masks inside businesses after threats of violence were hurled at store employees, which is so ignorant. The employees are doing their job, and people coming in and threatening the employees for doing it, even so much as somebody brandished a weapon, which is just so stupid. I mean, come on.
You want to go to war? Come on. Do you want to go to war? We'll take you to war, okay?
Tony, coño.
Officials in Stillwater announced the change Friday, less than 24 hours after the rule went into effect at stores and restaurants. In the short time beginning on May 1st, that face coverings have been required for entry into stores, restaurants. Store employees have been threatened with physical violence and showered with verbal abuse, City Manager Norman McNichol said in a statement. In addition, there has been one threat of violence using a firearm. You got to be shitting me.
The Antichrist. You got me in a vendetta kind of mood.
Stillwater Mayor Will Joyce said on Twitter that he didn't expect the declaration to provoke a violent reaction. He said in quotes, "I knew there would be some objections, but I did not expect physical confrontation with employees and threatening phone calls to City Hall. I hate that our business and their employees had to deal with this type of abuse, and I apologize for putting them in that position." It's really not your fault, Mayor. It's the fucking moron people who are just, about an 8th grade mentality. And I don't agree with all the closing and all the masks and all that shit, but for Jesus Christ, be smart enough to know who's making the rules and who to take it out on. You should be thanking these people for showing up to work. He said that face masks are still strongly recommended for residents when around other people and will continue to be required for workers at public-facing businesses. We said we must find common ground, work together to deal with the circumstances our society is facing. Whether or not we agree on all the details, we have to find ways to cooperate in the task before us. That's not going to get through to these idiots or knuckleheads, as Governor Murphy of Governor. That's the next story. Governor Murphy, New Jersey. He's the guy that initially was arresting people on beaches and, guys sitting on a beach, for Christ's sake, on a Sunday, and this guy sends the cops out. So I don't personally, but Trump's always like, he's a great guy, we're working together. Well, make up your mind, for fuck's sake. Here's a picture of Governor Murphy right there of New Jersey.
Du eigene Arbeit, du eigenen Fleiß, eigenen Entschlossenheit.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy said the state's pace of reopening from shutdowns designed to slow the spread of the virus reflect in part by how much knucklehead behavior emerges as restrictions. What the fuck is that, Mo Howard?
What's the idea?
Get off the beach.
Get upstairs. Sit down.
Oh my God, Governor Murphy, you're killing me. He says the family, friends, and neighbors who we have lost are the reason why we can't rush our restart. Murphy said at a press briefing on Saturday. If we are reckless, we will lose not just more, but many more beyond that. Oh, you're laying it on heavy.
Thank
you.
New Jersey, second only to New York in the number of coronavirus cases and deaths, allowed state parks and golf courses to reopen Saturday for the first time since early April. That's what he thinks of golfers. He's like, fuck these rich white dudes. Let them get out there and take a risk. Murphy said officials would be monitoring closely for compliance with social distancing. If we hear reports of people not taking either their health or the health of, maybe even more importantly, the health of other park goers seriously, then we won't hesitate to, and I don't say this with any joy, yeah, you do, to close them again, Murphy said. If we can do this, and I know we can, then we'll be able to move forward, he said in German. Murphy said on April 28th that New Jersey is still a number of weeks away from totally reopening. He hedged on Sunday when asked if the state included beaches would be largely reopened by Memorial Day, May 25th. He said, Amityville means friendly, and those beaches will be open. I think it's too early to tell for lots of reasons, including our neighbors, he said. This isn't about the old legacy stuff, Murphy said, a reference to suggesting Democrat-led states are looking for bailouts for long-running budget Yeah, it is. Maybe not yours, but all the fucking big money going to the states, the governors, fucking liberal, left-leaning states run by lefties who are already in financial straits before all this happened, like New York, like fucking Los Angeles. He says, we're already seeing some layoffs in New Jersey. We need a big slug of federal direct cash assistance, is what he said.
Give me the money, you understand me? Give me the fucking money, you hear me? You hear me? I gotta come here and bust my balls. Give me the fucking money.
Remember what Rahm Emanuel said, never let a crisis go to waste. So these governors are like, fuck, this is a good way to bail us out of this mess we were in before COVID. Just my opinion. Could be wrong. Don't give a shit. It's an internet show. I'm just reporting the facts with a little cursing involved. If you don't like it, fucking go home. Cocaina. A lot of this in Gomorrah. A lot of people going, that's good shit. Cosa dice? Maravazzi. Get out of here. I want to learn Italian. It's so good. Morta. He's dead. Morta. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the DonaldStuff.com are big sponsors of the show. We really appreciate them for that. They also know I love to cook and asked me to share this item. Check it out. It's a Trump apron. That's me standing very gaily on the left. As you can see, I've slimmed down because of the virus, and I have the hips of a bitch. That's me after I burn something, tearing my T-shirt off in anger. Motherfucker! How cool is that? Get it for yourself. Even better, get one from someone you know who hates Trump. Maybe even have a barbecue and invite your lib friends over and wear it while you're putting bloody chicken juice, raw chicken juice, into the hamburger. Anyway, lots of great stuff on thedonaldstuff.com. Go there and check out all the gear. When you use the promo code NICK, you get 10% off. Not just the apron, but everything on the website. Go to thedonaldstuff.com, pick up a shirt or a mug or a hat, and support these guys. And we thank them for sponsoring the show. So speaking of buying shit, guess what, folks? This surprised the hell out of me. Crowds gathered to buy new Air Jordans in Atlanta after lockdown lifted. I can't.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all.
Where are my shoes at? An Atlanta mall saw massive crowds gather Saturday to buy the new Air Jordans. Really, this is what's priority on your... Look, Tyrone, you could get COVID and die. I don't give a fuck, man. I ain't paying retailing online. I'm sure there was some white folk in there, too. They're in line Saturday. I love them. Fuck the pandemic. These are Air Jordans. To buy the new Air Jordan sneakers after lockdown restrictions were lifted. Apparently they were lifted, so I don't know. That's pretty.
I think your brain is going soft.
Shoppers packed close to form lines that makes no sense. I don't know who wrote this. That wrapped outside Greenbrier Mall on Saturday. That's where I go. I get my fucking giant pretzels at Greenbrier. That's right. I make a 4-hour drive to Atlanta. To get their hands on new Air Jordan 5, the new Air Jordan 5 sneakers. We have a picture. I don't know why everybody's... Look at those. Would you wear those anywhere? I know what Michael Jordan's changed in his old age. He designed these fuckers. Look at that. Those are shoes that nobody would shoot you and steal off your feet. I'll tell you that much. Video posted on social media show people waiting to get into the mall and then outside of the shoe store, Jimmy Jazz. They have the best ones. You ever been to Jimmy Jazz? Oh. Everyone I talked to was in line for a new Air Jordan 5 that sold out online, tweeted NBC producer Charlie Gile. The sneaker frenzy comes after Georgia Governor Brian Kemp allowed shelter-in-place orders to expire and encouraged businesses to reopen. So if anybody gets hurt, it's on you, Governor. I guess I got to do the Hornet story, huh? Yeah, real quick. Final story, folks. What is going on in the world? Unbelievable. Asia murder hornet will arrive. They call it the murder hornet. It was in line trying to get Air Jordan 5s in Atlanta. Asia's murder hornet will arrive on East Coast and is here to stay, experts say.
I kill you right now.
Kill me. I'm right here. Kill me.
Okay, I come with two chopsticks.
It's not a matter of but when the murder hornet will hit the East Coast. The deadly meat-eating Asian... What kind of hornets eat meat? They create this in the Wuhan lab? Didn't say China. I saw one fly by with a fucking ribeye in its mouth. The deadly meat-eating Asian giant hornet, which has been known to kill up to 50 people a year in Japan, recently surfaced for the first time in U.S. and Washington State. And New York City beekeepers say there's no way it won't make it to the East Coast either. I told the NYPD back in 2012, your problem is not the bees. This murder hornet is your problem, recalled retired police department beekeeper Anthony Tony Bees Planakis. What was he, a mobster too? Tony Bees. Asked if the monstrous insects are dangerous to humans, Planakis replied, absolutely. Oh my God. What the fuck?
Ow! Ow! Ah! Oh! Yes!
The hornets, the world's largest at more than 2 inches long, were first spotted in Washington in December, likely have made their way to the U.S. aboard a ship from China. Trump will be going, I'm telling you, they knew about these bees in early February of 2018. Planakis said he expects them to arrive at the East Coast in the next 2 or 3 years. He said that in terms of eventual local infiltration, city green spaces and the outer boroughs will get most likely hit. Excuse me. Spots such as the Bronx Botanical Gardens are ideal because there's plenty of open spaces and lots of food. In other words, watch out when you're at a fucking barbecue. Listen to this. We can expect them to be everywhere on the continent in time. It's a done deal, Cody said. He's an expert. There's no way to contain it to the West Coast. He said he saw the giant hornets on a trip to China in 2017 where local beekeepers were using small bats that looked like miniature cricket bats to smack the fucking hornets out of the air. What the fuck?
There's no crying in baseball!
The killer hornet, listen to this, can decimate a honeybee colony because it needs to build up protein for its own colony. Well, get your own protein. Don't fucking come in my house, bitch. It decapitates and consumes part of the honeybees. Planakis said the hornet's stinger is approximately 1/4 of an inch compared to the 1/16 of an inch for honeybees. And get this, they're meat eaters. 2,200 was saw at Ruth Chris's on Wednesday night. They'll go after birds, small sparrows if they have to. Planakis said listen to this, that inside their venom is a pheromone, which is like a magnet to other hornets. So you can get swarmed just from getting stung by one. These fuckers are gangs. They're like, oh, we wounded Raz. Call everybody. The worst thing anyone can do with these things is kill them, he said. When you kill them, a scent is going to be airborne and the rest of the hive will come. What the fuck? This is like Gamora. Fucking Antony gets whacked. He goes back, tells all the other... Getting stung is extremely painful, and they don't sting you one time. They have the ability to sting you multiple times. What the fuck is going on?
Cry like a bitch.
Planica said that in China they have hornet hunters. There's a tracker. What they do is set up a water source, and they wait there like a deer hunter would. As soon as they see the hornets coming to the water source to drink, the guy jumps out with a net, I like to see who that is, and grabs it. Then, ever so carefully, he ties a string onto the hornet and lets it. You know how big a hornet has to be that you can tie a fucking string on? Jeez, what do? Pin it down? There's a spotter watching it now with binoculars. He watches this thing as it flies because obviously it's going to go back to the nest. When they find it, they mark where the nest is. Then at night, they come back, the hunters, with a flamethrower and just toast the whole nest. Jesus Christ, China. You gave us this pandemic, now you're going to release hornets on us? We got to come up with something. Anyways, that is it, folks. I want to thank you so much again for all the support we got over the weekend. Don't forget, I'm working today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, as normal. And then I will take days off until the following Friday, like 8 days away. We come back for one show and then the weekend, okay? And Dave Rubin will be on Monday's show. He's got a book out, Don't Burn This Book. I've been listening to it on audio. It's excellent. So that is it. You think and I will say it. You're very welcome. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Stay safe, everybody. Bye.